No, it's okay, ma'am.
Yeah, hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, can you
Okay.
please start?
Okay. Recording started.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So, very good morning to all of you. Myself, Dr. Pragya, and here I am with Dr. Shivraj Singh, today's speaker. As per the schedule, we have today's lecture on new avenues in marketing of agricultural produce. So, before starting the lecture, I would like to introduce himself. Dr. Shivraj Singh, he is working currently as Associate Professor in Department of Dairy Business Management, Sanjay Gandhi Institute of Dairy Technology, Bihar Animal Sciences University. He had a vast experience of 11 years in teaching and research and taking care of undergraduate and postgraduate courses in agriculture economics, dairy economics, agribusiness management. He has done his BSc from SK and College of Agriculture, Jobna, and completed his Masters and PhD from National Dairy Research Institute, Karnal, Haryana. Dr. Shivraj has a research interest in the areas of Indian agriculture, dairy sector policies, issues, inequality in farming, value
Ты
addition,
sigam
milk
teka mo, may
pricing,
natasnishi maslo. Na time
structural
alala shi
changes.
tutata.
Madam, kindly mute yourself. Janat, madam, kindly mute yourself. He has published more than 50 research papers, including policy paper. He has handled 12 research projects and guided 5 master's students till now. So he is also a recipient of Young Scientist Award from RASA New Delhi and awarded many best paper awards from Dairy Association New Delhi. So we welcome Dr. Shivraj to share his expertise in dairy economics and agriculture economics. So over to you, Dr. Saab. Sir, you are
Please
muted.
unmute yourself.
Janat ma'am, see, is he is able to mute himself,
Yes,
unmute
yes, sir.
himself?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, sir. Please go on the PPT.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Is it visible now in presentation mode?
Yeah, sir. So please
Okay.
continue with your lecture.
Okay. So first, I thank the organizers for inviting me on this in this particular lecture series in the 21 days orientation program, and I have seen that there are
Sir, please unmute yourself. Hello.
is it unmute
Yes,
now?
sir. Yes, sir. So go to the presentation mode.
Okay. Now it is audible, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first, I thanks to the organizers for inviting me in this lecture series of 21 days orientation program. And my topic is basically related with the agriculture marketing and how different changes over the period of time take place and what its impact on the farmers' strategy to the marketing of agriculture produce and what different plausible solutions are possible to deal with the agriculture marketing. So with that, I first introduce you what agriculture economics is and what are the problems associated with it and how what the current status of agriculture marketing is concerned. And then we will see what different innovations take place in terms of marketing of the agriculture produces. And then we see what solutions can be possible in this context. So first we need to understand what the agricultural marketing. As we know that in general, farmers are involved throughout the year in different agriculture activities of the production, but they very less involved or very less time they are giving to the marketing of the agriculture produce. but that is the utmost important activity. They are doing good agriculture production activities, but most of the time they devote to the production activity. They very less focus on the marketing of the produce, or they devote very less resources to the marketing of the produce and the time also. So from that perspective, and they cannot focus much on it, therefore they in general receiving very less remuneration for their produce. So here we have to first understand what agriculture marketing and what different development in this particular area is there, because government time to time take several policy changes and ultimately it affects to the farmers. So first we understand what agriculture marketing is. It encompasses three main activities. One is the certain all sort of activities, agencies and the policies that involve in the procurement, production of, or you can say the purchase of the farm input to the marketing of the farm product from farm to the ultimate consumers. So
I to select category.
so there are a number of activities are involved, as we know, in farming is
और
concerned.
फिलहाल ये सारे चेक कर दो जिसमें है ना
Jannat madam, kindly mute yourself.
हाँ 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 ठीक
So
है
number of activities are involved
जी बस क्या क्या
in
मार्क
marketing, as we know that
ठे
either it is production activity itself involve purchase of the seed, pesticide, insecticide, and number of inputs. Similarly, number of agencies are involved which supply the inputs and which involve in the marketing of the farm produce. Like we are having FCI, we are having different private companies involved in the seed marketing, pesticide marketing, insecticide marketing. So number of agencies also involved, they are also part of the agriculture marketing. Similarly, we are having several policies in terms of production side also, in terms of marketing side also, even at farm side also. So all are basically part of the agriculture marketing. Okay, so in general, we are having concept that agriculture marketing means selling a produce, but it is wrong. Basically, agriculture marketing encompasses the production, post-production activities also, even though after production marketing, or you can say the sales activity also. So in nutshell, it is starting before production of the agriculture produce to ultimately selling to the consumer till the end of the consumer, even though after that post-consumption experience of the consumer is part of the agriculture marketing. So in broader sense, it involves the how we are going to market the agriculture produce and how we purchase the farm inputs required by the farmer. So in that sense, we have to talk in general regarding agriculture marketing is concerned. As we know, what importance it possesses. One of the important aspect is resource allocation. In agriculture, either it is, we are having in general 4 major factor of production: land, labor, capital, and management. These are the resources in general we have to use in agriculture production system. So their allocation at farm level should be focused towards the market. What market is required, what sort of products market is required, where he will get the higher prices, where cheap or reasonable price farm inputs are available. All are basically resource optimization. Similarly, whatever be the farm produce, it's a management, it's a pre-processing, it's a grading, it's a sorting, it's a transportation, it's logistic. Everything is part of the agriculture marketing. So in that context, agriculture marketing is important one. Similarly, farm income, as we know that doubling the farmer income is one of the target for the target of the farmers. Okay, so in agriculture marketing play a significant role. In general, it observed that if farmer in village market he is selling the produce, then he is getting 20-30% less price for the farm produce. Even if he transfer that product or transport that product to the urban area, to the APMCs, then he get 20% higher value of the farm produce. Okay, so in general, if proper marketing is to be done, then only farmer income can be enhanced. So that is the ultimate importance. Then marketing expand the market for the farm produce. In distant market, you can sell your produce. If you are using properly, you are marketing your produce. For example, one product is specialized in particular production of product, and another market is the consuming market. Or agriculture marketing provide the avenue for widening the national and international both the markets. And growth of agro-based industry is also very much dependent. As we know that there are a number of agro-based industries, either it is textile industry, sugar industry, dairy industries, food processing industry. They all together depend on the agriculture produce. Okay, basic raw material is that. So agriculture marketing also fuel the growth of agro-based industries. So in that context, it is important. And price signals, very significant in local market, in national market, in regional market, in international market. Altogether, price signals are very important, and it basically give the signal to the farmer, and accordingly, farmer is to act in production side. So in that way, agriculture, it is important aspect. Then adoption and the spread of new technologies. Several technologies are evolving around the production, around the marketing, around the post harvesting side is concerned. So where there are a lot of scope for the agriculture technologies, and that only possible if proper understanding among the farmer, among the different stakeholders is there regarding the agriculture marketing is concerned. Huge employment is created by agriculture marketing, especially in the APMC market, in the transportation, in the logistic, in the supply chain, value chain. So many people are getting employment directly and indirectly in the agriculture marketing sector. And ultimately, it will add to the national income, national GDP. It's very much contributing. Similarly, it creates the utilities for the product. Either it is time utility, farm utility, or place utility. All three utilities are created through the agriculture marketing. So that is the significance of the agriculture marketing we are having. Similarly, what are the basic characters of the good marketing system? Understanding of this aspect is very important, because we know there are, on the basis of the competition, we are having several markets. Among that, perfect market is the best one. But we know that we are living in the imperfection markets. Basically, everywhere we will see. But first we understand what the perfect market or what the good market system is to be. Then only we can understand what existing markets are there, what lacunas in there, how we can improve them. So from that aspect, first basic thing is what good market system is. It's free from the government interference. Free from government interference. Government should act as a facilitator instead of the regulator. Okay, but we will discuss later on. In majority of the states APMCs are governed by the state rules, and so they are basically regulatory mechanism is more, instead of the facilitative mode of actions are very much lacking. Similarly, systematic and the orderly decision is to be taken by the producers and the consumer. That is also very important. What consumer is required, accordingly farmer is to act. That's order decision or systematic decision. So that also important. And due to lack of information asymmetry, or due to information asymmetry in general in our agriculture markets, the systematic and orderly decisions are generally not take place, and due to lack of market intelligence also. Similarly, marketing system is to be adaptive. We respond to the dynamic changes in the market. We know that each day several policies are changing. International market scenario is changing, domestic market scenarios are changing. In that, our marketing system is to be adaptive to that. That is, the impulse is to be directly systematize our agriculture marketing system. That is one of the prerequisite for good marketing system. Similarly, the market itself can manage the demand and supply forces, and it bring the equilibrium in the market. Equilibrium prices can be decided. So that also one of the ideal good marketing system is to be. And good market system eliminate the wastage through the good supply chain, good value chain managements. Okay, so these are the basic characters which good market system is having. Then why we need efficient marketing system? Efficient market system is required because most of the inputs farmer purchase from outside the farm. Either it is fertilizer, seed, farm machineries, everything is purchasing in general from outside the farm. So he need that product, good quality inputs are available at reasonable and affordable prices. That is one first requisite from the efficient marketing system is there. Second, price signal is basically helps in the farmers to plan the sowing of the crop. Which crop he is to allocate, how much area, what sort of input he is used, what quality standard he is to meet. All that basically signaling to be done through the efficient marketing system. Third, we have to integrate the domestic market system. Domestic market system from interstate, intra-state, international markets, and all sort of price variations, dynamic changes in the market is to be dealt properly by the efficient marketing system. That is also one requisite. Then fourth, we need efficient market infrastructure. Efficient marketing infrastructure in terms of post-harvest losses to be minimized, in terms of grading, storage, transportation, value addition, all are basically part of efficient marketing system. So that also require. And similarly, it can help to boost the export of agriculture produce from the country. So these are some aspects which basically we expect from efficient marketing system. Then what problems associated with agriculture marketing? Okay, first is over regulation of the markets. As we know that each state is empowered to enact the APMC Act in their own state as per their rules, regulations, and everything they can decide, because it's a state subject. And basically, as per APMC Act, farmer is to sell his produce only in the regulated market through the registered intermediaries. That is one prerequisite. But as we know that even though we are having the Essential Commodity Act, under which state and the central governments is basically put certain restrictions on the storage and the movement of the agriculture produces. So these are some restrictions in terms of APMC Act, in terms of under Essential Commodity Act. And these over regulations basically hamper the private sector investment in the agriculture, and it creates the artificial barriers and unnecessary hindrance in the flow of agriculture commodities from farm to the distance market. So these basically government has to work as a facilitator instead of the regulator. That is one problem in our agriculture market is there. Then fragmented marketing system. Fragmented marketing system means we are having almost 2,500 regulated APMCs, 5,000 sub-market yards. Even we are having thousands of the rural haats and the Gramin rural markets. They all are at very distant locations. They are well not connected with each other. They are lacking in terms of marketing infrastructure is concerned, and there are so many middlemen and traders are there. As a resultant of that, what happened? Escalation of the cost of farm produce, and ultimately farmer is not getting most of the time remunerative prices, and parallelly consumer is to pay higher prices. So that is major problem associated with the fragmented marketing system in our country is concerned. So we need the integrated markets. If we integrate all the market either through the ENAM or either through the technology, then only these lacunas can be overcome. Similarly, we are having lack of access to the APMCs. As we discussed, there are 2,500 APMCs market, 5,000 is, you can say the sub-market yards, but still we are having almost 9 crore farmers in our country, and they are having small or marginal land holdings. Their marketed surplus is very less. In that situation, they have to transport their produce from farm to the distance market. That is not feasible for them. And most of the time, meanwhile, transportation, there are a lot of post-harvest losses are there. One recent suggestions from the National Commission on Farmer, they have suggested that each APMC is to serve minimum 80 square kilometer area. We have to establish one APMC in the 80 square kilometer or within the radius of the 5 kilometer from the farmer. But existing situation is one APMC is serving 450 square kilometer area. So this basically shows that farmers are forced to sell their produce at low price outside the APMCs. Okay, so that is one problem. Then against the interest, this is whole system is against the interest of the small and marginal farmer, because we know that they are having small marketed surplus. They enable most of the time to transport the produce, small produce to the distance market and to participate in the auction system. So these are and they most of the time sell their produce to the local agent and the traders in general at low prices. Then poor infrastructure of APMC. APMC is getting their revenue from the imposing of the mandi tax, but parallelly they are not having the good infrastructure through which they can earn higher amount of revenue through the cold storage facility uses, through the go down facilities, and all sort of APMCs are having very minimal infrastructure to facilitate the farmer. And as a result of that, there are a lot of post-harvest losses are there, and APMCs generally not investing heavily on the technology side, because it ruled by the, or it's supported by the state governments, and state government in general not much intervening in this infrastructure development projects. Similarly, imposing of the multiple fee in APMC. APMC is having a norms to or each operate, whosoever operating in the APMCs, they have to get the license first of all. Either it is trader, either it is loading agent, either it is warehousing agents. And in general, different states are having 4 to 15% of the different charges on the value of the agriculture produce in general in terms of fee, market fee is concerned, APMC fee is concerned. And this is cascading effect on the price of agriculture commodities, which ultimately affects to the farmers and the consumers. Similarly, higher post-harvest losses. As study suggests that or almost 92,000 crore rupees annual loss of farm produce at farm level, at post harvest level we are having. So that also one of the problem in agriculture marketing. So let's discuss to sort out these different problems, what reforms at the government end has been done over the years. If we see, before go to that, first we understand how reforms has been take place in our agriculture marketing scenario is concerned. So post pre-independence, major public policies basically guided to keep the farm prices low so that consumer get the food products at reasonable prices, and ultimately industries get the raw material at cheap price. Because in British era they are basically having that tendency, and they all majority, either it is cotton industry and all that, they are they are basically means meant for that, okay, to get the cheapest raw material and process it and sell to the sell as per the company. Then similarly, after post independence, government main focus was to incentivize the farmer through the marketing, through providing a remunerative, transparent and the fair prices. And Royal Commission on Agriculture in 1928 suggested to establish a regulated market or to regulate the primary markets, or establish the new regulated markets. That was the suggestion of Royal Commission on Agriculture 1928. Then state enacted the Agriculture Produce Market Regulations, APMR, in the end of the 60s and the mid of the 70s, to bring all the primary wholesale market under the preview of the APMR. And only as per that regulation, only states were empowered to establish the markets, farm markets. Okay. Similarly, each market has notified the area. Under that notified area, particular APMC has to frame the rules and they enforce the rules and regulations. So that is the in 70s, 80s, these things being done. And the main objective behind setting the regulated or setting up regulated market was to provide the fair prices and transparent environment for trade of agriculture produce. Okay, and as a result of these changes, in the 50s we are having, we were have almost 236 regulated market in India, but in today if we see then 6600 regulated market we are having, 22,000 plus rural periodic markets or rural huts we are having. So this is huge basically infrastructure in terms of market to deal with the marketing of agriculture produce. But we know that post independence our food production has increased manifold. And to support that manifold increase in farm produce, we need the well-established market infrastructure to handle that farm harvest. And in that context, there are several reforms done by the government. Then before move to the reform and understanding how reforms take place, first understand why reforms are required. As in problem associated with agriculture market, we majorly discuss that, but let's see. One is the fragmented market. Another is market itself is not sufficient to handle the quantity which harvested during the peak season of farm harvest. Okay, they are not having proper infrastructure to deal with it. Then higher market charges, higher market fee, and the charges are there. Inadequate infrastructure is there. Post-harvest losses are too much in our supply chain, in our post-agriculture marketing activities. Restrictions in terms of licensing for each activities which operate in the regulated market. High intermediary costs are there, either in terms of, and it will lead to increase the farm price, consumer prices, and information asymmetry is there, means a trader, commission agent, how they take the decision and how it will lead to affect the farmer, how it will lead to affect the consumer. There is lot of gap in between the information flow is concerned. Inadequate credit supplies, because credit is required, either traders are required or sometimes majority time farmers are required, the marketing credit is required, market credit is required, but that is also lacking. So to solve this problem partially or in holistically, there are several reforms in the patches or in the small interval being government has done. Like if we see in 20 year what reforms being done, then first is expert committee of Ministry of Agriculture. One report was submitted in 2002, report of interministerial task force on agriculture marketing reform submitted. Then as per these reports, in 2003, Model Agriculture Produce Marketing Act was passed by the government and it circulated to the states, and states are suggested to implement it, Model Act. Okay, and then National Commission on Agriculture was set up in 2004 to 6. Then APMC rules being framed. Model APMC rules 2007 was published. In 2013, report of Committee of State Ministers in charge of agriculture marketing to promote reforms being set up. Then in 2015, ENAM was launched. And similarly, in 2016, Niti Aayog formed the task force on agriculture development. Then Doubling Farmer Committee was submitted its report, and the Model Agriculture Produce and Livestock Marketing Act in 2017 was passed or implemented. In 2018, Model Contract Farming Act was passed, and its operational guidelines also being circulated, and Gram scheme was launched. Similarly, High Power Committee of Chief Minister was set up in 2019, and recent 2023 holistic bills on being put in Parliament, but due to several reasons, and these being rolled back. So let's one by one discuss what these reforms are there. Okay, so one of them is basically Agriculture Produce and Market Regulation Act being passed in the 60s and 70s. As per that, states are the only whole and soul can set up the regulated market, and they can only frame the rules and regulations. That was under the APMR Act is concerned. Then APMC Act 2002. It was act was passed on the recommendation of the Interministerial Task Force on Agriculture Market Reforms, and they suggested to amend the APMC Act and allow the broader participation of the private parties and the private sector as the cooperative sector. That was the major recommendation of this group, and the Food Stuff Order 2002 and 3 was passed. As we know that after post-liberalization, several changes occur in our economy, and several reforms, sectoral reforms being done by the government. But agriculture sector in general, not much reform. So in the Food Stuff Order 2002-3, government removed the restrictions of licensing requirement, stock limit, and movement restriction on some specific food products like wheat, paddy, coarse grain, sugar, edible oil, and all, etc. They were removed from the list of the Essential Commodity Act 1955, and thereafter permit and license was not required to trade, to store, and movement of these produce. So that one important reform. Similarly, State Agriculture Produce Marketing Act 2003 was passed. In that act, there are several important provisions were there, like direct sale was promoted. Direct sale either through the contract farming sponsor agency, and to set up a special market for a special commodity or specific commodity, because we know that each commodity is having its own post-harvesting processing techniques. So to promote specialization in particular geographical area, government in that act is suggested to establish a special markets. Similarly, it allows the private players, farmers, and consumers to establish the own markets, basically in particular area. There is provision in the law that single levy is to be taxed on the market in terms of market fee for sale of notified agriculture produce in particular market area, and replacing the licensing with registration, okay, of market functionaries that allow them to operate in one and more different markets within state, okay, and provided for establishment of the consumer and the farmers market, where direct sell, farmer can sell the produce directly to the consumers. That also provision in the law. Then it provided the creation of the market infrastructure from the revenue earned by the APMC. So these are some sort of regulations under the Model Act of APMCs. But these reforms central government has circulated to the states, and states basically not partially reform its APMC Act. They, as per their convenience, they modified it, but thoroughly as it is, Model Act was not implemented by the majority of the states. So basically, if this reform not in holistically done, so we are not getting fruitful result also. Similarly, National Agriculture Market (ENAM) was launched recently in 2016, and its major purpose is to integrate all sort of markets at state level, at country level, through the online digital market infrastructure. That was the major objective of the ENAM, and to streamline the marketing transactions across the states, across the markets, through the efficient way, through promoting the efficiency in the system, and to promote a better market opportunities for the farmers through the online access to the online access of the buyer in the markets, removal of the information asymmetry, better and real-time price signaling, and the online payment and quality of the produce. Accordingly, you can you can fix the price of the produce. These are some means basic important aspect of the ENAM, which cover under the ENAM scheme, and to establish a quality assaying system. Quality is major focus under this. Accordingly, bids can be possible from the buyer sides, and the stable price and availability of the quality produce. That's one of the objective of the ENAM scheme. Then why we are having another reform in terms of model APLM, okay, Agriculture Produce Livestock Marketing Act 2017. This is single agriculture market with single licensing. Under the act, there is a provision. An important objective of the law is to establish this law suggests to set up the regulated wholesale market at average distance of the 80 kilometer, as suggested we discussed in the National Commission on Agriculture. Okay. Similarly, farmers and the traders will be able to transact all such regulated market within a state. All sort of traders and farmer can interact, means transact. And the greater extent, market fee is basically given a maximum bar up to the 1% for fruit and vegetable, 2% for food grains. Commission agent can charge up to the 2% on non-perishable food items and 4% on perishable food items. Single license to operate in a state and even at national level. That also provision in the model APLM. And similarly, there is provision to promote the online and the spot marketing. That also provision under the model APLM 2017 Act is concerned. Then similarly, latest reform is GRAMs, Primary Rural Agriculture Marketing Centers in 2018-19. This is ambitious projects to convert the 22,000 rural heads into the GRAMs, was launched in the 18-19. And farmers in this law or in this market reforms, farmer has to sell directly in their in their farm locations. That was the concept. Means in locality, farmer, whatever be the farm produce, they directly can sell to the consumers. That one objective. And similarly, the primary market can work as a pooling center, as assembly centers of farm produce to transfer or to move the produce to the distance market. That also under this GRAM scheme is there. And primary, this allow a larger number of farmers to collaborate in terms of to form a cooperative, to form a FPOs, and to operate in the wholesale market as per their choice of the farmer is concerned. And back-ended organization can create a lot of job opportunities for in terms of pack house, mini storage, supportive processing units. So these all are basically a concept of the GRAM scheme is concerned. Then what current status of agriculture marketing in India is concerned? Means after series of reforms, series of intervention from governments, from central government, from the state government, let's understand what the agriculture marketing scenario currently we are having. And this survey being conducted by the National Sample Survey Organizations in 2018-19 and the 77th round on situation assessment of agriculture households and land and livestock holding of households in rural India. This was the survey, and the finding of survey suggests that or indicates that we are having in country level, if we see over the last means 18 years, or there are series of changes take place in last 18 years, and majority of the, if we see the land holding pattern, then marginal farmers are the major stakeholder in our production activity is concerned. Their share from 2002 70% increased to the 76%. Mean marginal, it indicates that in agriculture production system there is marginalization of the farmers. Means marginal landholding farmers are around 76%, and they own the land of 34.5% land resources they are having. And in general, if we add the small and marginal farmer, then their share is 85% around, and they own 60% on the land resources. So whatever be the means marketing activities is to be done, or whatever be the reforms is to be done, they have to center the small and marginal farmers. Okay, so because majority of the farmers are marginal and small holding farmers, and they're to do the agriculture, their basic notion to deal in agriculture is basically to ensure the food security, to get the income from farming, and to get the gainful employment from the farming. But as we know that land is the prime factor of production, in that scenario there are several challenges around the production system itself is concerned, and they basically reflected in our agriculture marketing system also. So if we see that how much is the, in that survey, one question was asked, how many farmers are basically doing a particular crop production, how many farmers are involved in particular crop production. Then if we see, then there are 3 or 4 group of crops are listed here. One is the cereal, oilseed, and the commercial crops in journal. And around cereals, if we see, then around 50% of the farm households are producing the cereals in the July to December 6 month, and that period is basically Kharif period. Okay. Similarly, around 94 or 9 up to 90% of the farmers are dealing with the commercial crops. Okay, so the commercial crop they are dealing means they are specialized in that. But in general, majority of the farmers are doing the cereals, oilseed, pulses, cultivations. And if we see how many farmers are basically reported sell through the various agencies, then local market is the prime location or prime market for them, for the farmers, where they are selling 80% or 90% of the farm produce. Okay, so that is very serious challenge we are having. Is still by several reforms, still 70 to 80% farmers are selling their farm produce in the local market. And APMCs, if we see, then also there are range of means very wide range in terms of paddy. If we see, then 3.2% farmers are selling in the APMC markets. And if we see the soybean, groundnut, or ragi and arhar crops, they are selling 12%, 19%. So this trend shows that pulses are majorly farmers are selling in the APMC markets, but cereals they are basically selling in the local markets. Okay, and similarly in certain crops like a sugarcane, in the paddy, there is government agencies and cooperatives are somehow very active in terms of procurement is concerned. Okay, so these are the certain findings we can get from these slides. And similarly, if we see the Rabi season, in Rabi season, farmers are mainly selling especially arhar, gram, and the moong, as well as the onion and the mustard. They are selling majorly in the APMC market in the range of the 5 to 24%, but majorly they are selling in the local market, in the village market. Okay. Similarly, if we see, yes, if we see that how much crop they are producing, how much, for example, paddy, how much percentage of the crop producing agriculture households are reported the sell of the crop. Then paddy, in case of paddy, it's 76% farmers are selling the paddy. And it shows that cereals, in general, cereals are having 50% or 7 up to 70% of the marketed surplus. And rest they are keeping for their own food consumption purpose. And in case of selling is concerned, they are more dependent on the local market. And in certain crops, there is a government support through which through the FCI and through the NAFED government is purchasing, and through the sugar cooperatives or government agencies, they are purchasing in sugarcane and all that. Otherwise, they are more rely on the local markets. Similarly, in Kharif season also scenario is more or less same. And if you see how much quantity is available for marketing of the produce is concerned, then it shows that in paddies, 80% of the farm households are selling the produce, and similarly, they more rely on the APMC market, especially in the wheat, gram, arhar, and the moong crop is concerned, rapeseed is concerned. Similarly, government agencies are more interested in the wheat purchase, sugarcane, and the rapeseed and mustard, and the cotton also through the CCI. Okay, so these are the this whole scenario is depict that majorly farmers are selling their farm produce in the local market. In some of the crop where government intervention is there through the minimum support price, through the FCI intervention and FED, there is still price of the farmer are able to sell their produce in the cooperative structure, or either in the government agencies, or either in the APMCs. Okay, so this is the whole scenario we can get from the previous slides. Similarly, here the slide shows that how many farmers are growing particular crop. And if you see in Kharif season, paddy, 53% of the farmers are growing the paddy, and they are selling 52% of the marketed surplus is there. Similarly, in Kharif season, bajra, maize, and the soybean and the cotton is the crop which farmers are majorly growing. And in some commercial crops, in cotton, soybean, in sugarcane, 95 or more than 90% is the marketed surplus is there. Similarly, in Rabi season, majority of the farmers are growing the wheat, potato, and the rapeseed mustard crop, and their marketed surplus is around 50% in the wheat. In gram, it is 63%, and potato, it's 55%. Like that, we are having the marketed surplus of the farm produce. Similarly, if we see how many farmers are aware about the how farmers are satisfied with the marketing of the farm produce, then the figures shows that around 50 to 60% farmer only satisfied with the marketing activity which they are doing, and the rest of the farmers are not satisfied with the existing marketing arrangements, and majority of the farmer, as per survey, suggest that they are getting lower price than the market price is concerned. Low price they are getting in case of, especially in the pulses, where majority government is not much purchasing. Basically, in groundnut there is in soybean, farmers are suggesting that they are not getting good price. Similarly, in case of sugarcane, it shows that 16% farmer are saying that they are getting delay payment. So that is also one issue in marketing side is concerned. Similarly, in Rabi season is concerned, then potato, onion, these are perishable products, and farmers are suggesting they are getting very low price for these products. And as in 2 years back, government come out with the separate scheme for this potato, onion, tomato food produce, vegetable produce is concerned. Similarly, in Rabi season also, farmer are suggested that 25% farmer response was that delay payment is major problem in the sugarcane. So these are certain issues under suggested by the farmers. Similarly, if we see how many farmers are aware about the APMCs, they are aware about the agencies involved in the procurement at MSP, and how they are selling, which agency, how much farmers are selling, how much output price. Then 40 to around 21 to 40% of the farmers are aware about the commodity specific minimum support price of the crop, as well as around 23% of the farmers are selling a paddy at the MSP price. 23.7% farmers in Jawar and the Bajra, these are the coarse grain. There only 2 or 3% farmers are selling produce at MSP price. In case of pulses like urad, there is 11% farmers are selling the farm output at minimum support price. In case of sugarcane, groundnut, it is higher side, 18 or 10%. Similarly, in soybean, it is 13%. So this is the scenario in Rabi season, Kharif season is concerned with respect to the how much farm produce they are selling at the minimum support price. Similarly, in next season, in the Rabi season, 20% of the wheat farmers are selling wheat at a minimum support price. In case of moong, it is 14%. In case of sugarcane, it is 40%. In case of cotton, it is 17%. So these all figures shows that there is still commodity specific interventions are there from government side. There is 25 to 30% of the only 20 to 30% farmers are able to sell their farm produce at minimum support price. Otherwise, in majority of the produce, they either partially MSP is operational and farmers are very meager amount they are selling at MSP. So these findings clearly shows that current agriculture marketing practices and the farmer satisfaction with respect to that is very dismal, and we need the some institutional innovations either from institutional mechanism, either through the technology mechanism, either through the government support. So let's see how what sort of interventions over the period of time by the support through the support of the government, through the support of the organizational changes being done. Among that, direct marketing is one of the important aspects. Direct marketing, where there is no intermediaries or very less intermediaries are involved in the marketing of the farm produce. That is called the direct marketing. Okay, and in these channels are also very very successful in place to place, especially in the perishable agriculture produce. Okay, in these direct markets, there is very less participation of the middleman, and farmer directly sell to the consumer at very reasonable prices. Okay, and direct marketing, farmer share in consumer rupee is higher side, and these are working in the APMCs, agriculture produce market committees. These direct market also work under that. And successful direct market to models, if you can, there are list of models that are very much successful in the direct marketing models like Apni Mandi or Kisan Mandi, Raitu Bazaar, Ujawar Sandis, and Krushik Bazars, Shetkari Bazars, Mother Dairy Booths, Vegetable and Fruit Promotion Council, and the Safal Market and Mahagrapes. These are certain examples which are very much successful in terms of direct marketing is concerned. Let's discuss one by one and what prominent feature they own and what how they operational. So first Apni Mandi was established in Punjab in 1987, and this Apni Mandi is also known as a Kisan Mandi. Okay, and currently, it is operational in the Punjab, Haryana, and Rajasthan. And these Apni Mandis are operated under the APMC rules and regulations. And the APMCs are responsible to provide the necessary facilities such as a space, water, weighing balance, and etc. are regulated through the APMCs. And the price spread in these mandis are very small. Means majority of the share in consumer rupee farmers are getting, and they are working. These are working in the very satisfactory in the fruit and vegetables. Similarly, Raitu Bazaar was established in 1999 in Andhra Pradesh. Currently, there are 95 Raitu Bazars operational in the 23 districts of the states, and each day price are fixed joint committee of the farmers and the state officer. Okay, through that price being fixed, and the price in these markets are 25% less than the local retail markets and 25% higher than the wholesale market. So this suggests that consumers are getting 25 farm produce at 25% less price, and farmers are getting higher price than the wholesale price. So this is kind of model which direct market model which help in the farmers also to the consumer also. And maintenance expenditure being made from the financial resources of the nearest APMC of the Raitu Bazaar. Okay, and this also direct market is very much successful in the fruit and vegetables. Similarly, Ujawar Sandis was established in the 31st March 2001 in Tamil Nadu, and price of vegetables are fixed in the day-to-day basis by the committee involving in marketing committee and the farmers committee. Both jointly fix the price of vegetable in these markets. These markets, farmer enjoy better price and good market infrastructure at free of cost, as well as they receive a considerable higher price of their produce. And farmer also get the good inputs, either seed or other farm inputs from these markets. Krushik Bazar was established in 2000 and 2001 in Odisha, and identified farmers are supplied inputs for vegetable productions, and they also get the storage facilities being provided, and price is determined by the taking average price of wholesale and the retail market of for different products in the respective markets. Through these prices are fixed, and very good model where farm produce input being supplied, and after that forward market support also provided under this Krishik Bazaar model is concerned. Similarly, Shetkari Bazaar is also very successful. It was established in the 60s around, and it was very much famous in the Maharashtra for marketing of the fruit and the vegetables. And this is kind of cooperative or group of farmers. They link the producer and the consumer directly, and that reduce the price spread and enhance the consumer share in producer share in consumer rupee. This market increases the farmer well-being and the farm income, and as well as provide the stability in the price of horticulture products. And this is kind of direct model where forward linkage being provided, and the farmers are linked with the Raitu Bazaar also. Similarly, mother dairy booths are also very popular. Was established in 1989 in the New Delhi. They are having whole separate wing for or separate flagship company to deal with the retailing of the vegetable markets directly to the consumers. They source the vegetables directly from farmer, and their own booths are there. Their own outlay is there. Outlay is there through which they are selling directly vegetables to the consumers. Similarly, one of the vegetable and the fruit promotion council. This council being set up in the 2001 in Kerala for marketing the fruits and vegetables, and they basically organized and run by the farmers. And there is one organization, SKS. Okay, that SKS is a facilitator organization which provide a place for marketing the fresh fruits and vegetable of the farmer. And this whole model is around the self-help groups. Okay, 15 to 20 self-help group of the farmers under the one SKS is there, and this whole model is called the VFPCK, SKS, and the SHG model. Under this model, auction is done under the SKS markets. Okay. And similarly, Safal market is there in 1988. This Safal markets being established, and this was very much prominent in the New Delhi, and NADB supported them. This also dealing in the fruits and vegetables by connecting the farmer through the Safal markets with the grower associations, and NDDB started this Safal unit at Delhi for fruit and vegetable retailing, and later on they extended it to the Bangalore also. Mahagrape is one of the innovative intervention in direct marketing. In 1991 in Maharashtra it was set up, and this organization is having kind of cooperative and the private sector characteristics, and the role of this organization is to bring the farmer on single marketing platform through which they can get the higher price of their produce. Similarly, recently, not very much recent, almost 20 years back, Dr. Varghese Kurian very much given an idea and concept of FPC to operate in the fruit and vegetable marketing is concerned, or to operate in the agriculture marketing system is concerned. In 2002, Producer Company Act was passed, and later on in 2013, government formed the policies and the guidelines for FPOs. And the central government Ministry of Agriculture and the Farmer Welfare enables the cooperatives to be converted into the FPCs. Okay. However, later push being done by the central government in 12 was given a mandate to promote the FFCs and the FPOs. Okay, with in recent 2 year back, Government of India in the budget also promised to come out with the central assistance scheme dedicatedly for formation and the promotion of the FPOs, with the goal to form and promote up to 10,000 new FPOs. So these are the kind of organizational changes which are very prerequisite for the small holding and marginalized agriculture system. So that is one innovation in terms of FPOs is concerned. Then recently, in 2016, government launched the ENAM scheme, which is Pan-India Electronic Trading Platform and networks of the existing APMC mandis to create a unified national market for agriculture commodities. And under this, initially, SFAC is the lead agency for implementing the ENAM, but later on that has changed. And now vision is basically of ENAM is to promote a uniform agriculture market across the India by streamlining the procedures across the integrated markets, removing the information asymmetry between buyer and the seller, and to promote the real-time price discovery based on actual demand and the supplies. Okay. Similarly, mission of INAM is to integrate APMCs across the countries and provide better price discovery through the transparent auction system farm produce. Okay, so these are the mission of INAM. Why we need this? First is state governments generally oversees the commercialization of agriculture products. They very less intervene in the agriculture markets. Okay, from last several years, APMC structure is more or less same. There are very less reforms at the state end is concerned. So agriculture markets are very much fragmented. Each states act as a distinct market. Due to that, there is no much compatibility and uniformity in terms of rules of APMC is concerned, and multiple market zones are there. They spread within state. You find different regulations for commodity specific, market specifics. Okay, and due to that, prices of consumer prices very drastically increases in several times, and multiple level mandi fee system is there. So to address all these issues, INAM is one of the scheme which establish virtual market, single market, online market at state and the federal level. So similarly, one new concept of e-marketing. E-marketing is basically also known as with different names: internet marketing, web marketing, digital marketing, online marketing. Basically, in marketing, the practice is advertising goods and services through the online media. Okay, and to target the targeted consumer, broad consumer group can be targeted with the help of the different gadgets, through the mobile applications, through the social media. And e-marketing is one of the component to integrate the marketing communications, which lead to brand expansion within short period of time and within limited budgets. So that also avenue available in agriculture marketing, and e-marketing is become a key component in marketing strategies nowadays used by the businesses through the various digital marketing channels. And some of the successful e-marketing models are eChopal, eNam, Kisan Rath are some of the example of e-marketing. Then after discussing all that, let's discuss what is the way forward to improve the existing agriculture marketing system. So first important aspect is required to link the farmers with the market. Okay, very important. As we discuss, marginal farmers are the 85% of the farmers are small and marginal farmer. To connect them with the existing marketing system through the use of the modern infrastructure, modern marketing infrastructure, modern technology, minimize the food wastages. This is the ultimate objective to be in agriculture marketing. Similarly, improving the infrastructure. As we discussed, APMCs are not having the sufficient infrastructure to support the existing production. Okay, in short span of time, and majority of the APMC market are monopolistic in the nature. So that basically hindering the private sector investment, and majorly this system is being occupied by the agents, wholesalers, processors. They enjoy basically very much in that system. Similarly, storage facilities. As we know, in India, we are having very less modern system of storage, because each agriculture commodity requires some sort of specific storage requirement to increase the shelf life, to maintain the storage life of the products. And even though public sector organization like FCI also lacking in terms of storage facilities concerned, and due to lack of a storage facility, most of the time farmers are compelled to distress sell their farm produce at and generally they are getting not good price due to the lack of storage facilities. So that is very important. Direct sale is one of the way through which directly farmer can sell his produce to the to the directly consumer, and they get good price of the produce. Similarly, transportation is very important aspect. Due to the transport facility, most of the post-harvest losses incurred whenever farmer sell his produce to the distance market. Physical infrastructure in market yard is very inadequate due to lack of proper handling facility at village level. Almost 7% of the food grain and 30% of the fruit vegetables being lost before reaching to the market. And access to finance, very important. Access to finance at farm level, to if there is proper access to the finance at farm level, then distress sale can be withheld. Similarly, if good financing is available with the traders, with the private companies, with the private sector, then also they can purchase or they can able to give the good price to the farmers also. So financial connect of financial institutions with the agriculture market is one of the prerequisite is there. Similarly, price information. Due to information asymmetry, most of the time farmer unable to know what is the price in the market, and even though they are aware about the price, they are unable to take a unable to use that information in marketing of the farm produce. So there is very much importance of the agriculture market intelligence and timely to be communicated to the farmers. Similarly, post food processing facilities are very important. They play important role to get the higher farm gate prices and assure and the remunerative prices. They assist in farmer getting a know-how from the factories and promote a crop diversification if there is a food processing industry is there. Okay, so integrated facilities for procurement, storage, processing, transportation complement the food processing industry. And private sector and foreign direct investment can play a role. For that, government is to allow the 100% FDI in the food processing and cold chain management infrastructure. Then free trade and open market is very important. As we know that opening up the agriculture sector by encouraging the free trade and an open market. Government intervention can create a distortion, cartelization, and inaccessibility of the market. Moreover, even with the good efficient farm, we will fail to provide profit if harvest cannot be sold at the best price. So in that manner, only free trade can promote the investment in better quality crop diversification and the packaging. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. It's really a very wonderful, well articulated lecture. I hope that participants definitely get benefited from it. So now the session is open for discussion, and if somebody has queries, they can directly ask or post in the chat box itself. So open for discussion. Is there any question? Somebody has raised their hands. Agency name. Satish Narayan. Sir, you can see in the chat box there are some questions.
Okay,
I
okay.
think.
Let me check. Yes, the question is regarding that in non-agriculture produce, we are having the price tag. In agriculture products, it is why it is not possible. As we discussed that at farmer level, there is no uniform organization or unified organization is there that can do that. Or we, even though we are having distorted market. This practice is only possible if we are having the proper market for the farm produce. Like we are having certain agriculture products. If particular company is selling, for example, any company is selling the packaged products of agriculture produce, they are having the price tag. But farmers not at larger extent they are having that kind of support, or they are not well organized in particular structure. Through that they can tag the price for their produce. So in general they are selling in the open auction, in the APMCs. We have seen that almost 70 to 80% farmers are selling in the local market. Their village merchant is available only for them, and he only buyer. He can fix the price with negotiation with the farmer. So that kind of situation, it will take long time, basically either through the FPOs or through the cooperative structure, or even though with the help of the private sector, it can be possible that farmer can fix their price of the produce.
But
And
hello,
yes, sir.
sir, there were so many reforms done in India regarding the marketing systems. Till then,
Yes.
now we have not reached there. Why so?
Reforms are centrally suggested, or some states also proactively taken some sort of reforms. But reforms, agriculture marketing is package, whole package, and generally in pieces reforms are done. And if you do some certain reforms in particular one aspect and it not sync with the another aspect, for example, government has done reform in terms of APMC, then APMC alone is providing the price support. They only give the auction platform where farmer freely can sell his produce. But after post harvest, after APMC, we need the transportation support, we need the logistic support, we need the post harvest support. That is not a reform done by the, or private sector is not reluctant to invest on that. So it's a series of activities, holistic approach. Like in green revolution, government has done series of reforms in seed sector, pesticide, insecticide, in water, in irrigation, in electricity, everywhere. But in marketing we are not see that kind of reforms. Basically it's only in the
Okay, thank you,
pieces.
sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, one more question.
Yes, sir.
Sir, how much farmers in India are using e-NAM?
Very less farmers, sir, because hardly means functional APM e-NAMs mandis are very less in our India. I also surveyed that on website it shows the proper e-NAM is being implemented in the mandi, but when we visit, then official says that we are just registered on the portal. We are not having physical and digital infrastructure to operate at that end. So these are the some problems. But in some pockets, it's very much successful in Andhra Pradesh, in commodity specific markets. That is somehow in pockets it is successful, sir.
Okay, thank you,
But
sir.
not in holistic way.
Thank you, sir.
Some more question in the chat box, sir, I think.
Let me see. Regarding one question is concerned with one nation, one market, government with this notion, ENAM being implemented, but we have discussed also in our presentation, and recently one participant also asked regarding ENAM, and I have explained you that it takes time and commitment from state government to develop the infrastructure in the that support the ENAM. Okay, when we say the ENAM, it does not mean only one facility you provide a computer and the hardware and some software support and ENAM will work. No, it requires the food quality assurance laboratories are required, where food products being assessed, quality norms being fixed, standardized. Then you have to put on portal. Then only buyer can be assured that what quality product he is to bid. So that is basically holistic investment, and it requires and central government can provide you infrastructure facilities in terms of software, in terms of hardware, but other facility being created by the APMCs and the state government, that is lacking today in our country. That